Hi class, welcome to another tuition video. I am taking you through the 2008 paper today and focusing on question 1, which is the melodic composition question. And you can see it there in front of you, that's the exact paper there. And I'm going to look at question 1, as I've said, which is where they give you the first 4 bars and you've got to continue on the next 12. You can see the instructions: continue the opening, add appropriate performing directions, choose a suitable instrument. They have not stipulated a modulation this time because it is a minor question and that is not required then, but I am suggesting that we will take our B phrase to the relative major because it gives it a sense of direction. And it is easy enough to do. You don't need to think about accidentals or anything because the relative major has a naturally occurring leading note already in the key signature. So without further ado, let's have a crack of it. I'm going to try and do this in 10 minutes so as not to waste your valuable time. And let me open up my Sibelius document there. Okay, so let's have a listen to what they have. It's in C minor. I know that because I've sung it and I've played it, and here we go. Let me just play this for you. Okay, I'll just play it again. And in class, as you know, we sing this, we sing it over and over until it just feels natural and fluent, and I get you to sing the first bar from memory. Really important to do that. You will have time in the exams to do that. The importance of this is that the ideas will begin to flow naturally from the given material. Okay, there's no formula for this. The material on the day, you haven't a clue what it's going to be, so you have to be familiar with it enough that it will stimulate further ideas, okay? And there's no shortcut to that. Just keep singing that opening material until it really just is part of you. Now, as I've suggested, number every bar. Really important. It's a psychological trigger as well in the exam. For instance, when you see bar 7 and 8, you know that's where you're going to modulate, and that will help you to have a structure on the day. Bar 9 there is the beginning of the B phrase, which means time for a sequence, and 13 triggers the start of the final phrase, and so on. So these become valuable sort of structural points in your mind, and the whole idea of this is that on the day, under exam pressure, you will be able to perform well and stay calm and be able to be creative and technically accurate at the same time. As always, guys, I suggest that you do a little bit of rough work. I've just written out the scale there. And then I have written here, in your rough work, it is important to write down a couple of variations of the opening material. So I've already done that there just to save time. Let's go back again. So the opening bar is la ti do mi da da da, la ti do mi. So again, sing through that opening material, and I have composed 2 variations there. Here's my first one. So it's just a little, I've just filled in that gap and also added a bit of dotted rhythm, and it sounds like the phrase is beginning, but it also has a little variation. Let me hear that first one again. And my second variation is equally as simple. Okay, so 2 variations. Variation 1 will start my A1 phrase. Variation 2 will start my A2 phrase. If I'm happy with that, I'm just going to pop it over to the start of my A1 phrase. I'm going to get rid of that there. So there's the start of my second phrase is already done now. And I'm going to pop this on the start of the final phrase, because that too is going to be a little A2 phrase, and it'll sound like the opening phrase is beginning again, but there's a little bit of a decoration on it, okay? The second thing I would suggest before you write anything is to pick the bar of the opening 4 which you feel will generate the most flowing sequences. I've already had a listen, but let's listen to that opening phrase again. Now, if you're good at composing, you will you will turn any of those bars into reasonable sequences, but I have chosen bar 3 because it has a nice narrow range. I like bar 2 as well, but it just seems to drop a fourth there, and that could be awkward, okay? But equally bar 1 would work as a sequence, and bar 4, so this is a nicely constructed melody for you to work with, but just for the sake of today, I have chosen bar 3 as my sequence. And the thing with the sequence is this is going to start our B phrase, right? And this is important. Now, this is the way to approach writing this melody, okay? It's not just flake on any notes as you see fit, but get these structural things in place first, and then you'll have less to do. No, I would suggest whatever bar you decide to use as a sequence, you got to start on something strong for the B phrase. Like, don't start on an odd sounding interval, you know, because we're in the minor. I would suggest starting your B phrase, which is the third phrase, on either La, Do, or Mi. So they're strong notes of the chord. Okay, they're good strong starts. Don't start on Re or Fa or something. You know, just get in on a nice one. Equally, if it's in a major, we always say start on a Do, Mi, or So. So start on a strong note of your scale. So as you can see here, the sequence. The bar in its original form there starts on Re. So even though I'm going to use this bar for a sequence, I'm not going to start my phrase on the bar as it appears in my opening material. What I do, and what I would advise you to do, is take your bar of sequence and fire it on your rough work in as many shapes and sizes as you can think. So here I just took the bar 3, and here it is starting on Do, for example. Okay, and then I continue it on, and I'm going to have a mess around with it to see which ones work the best, okay? So there it is, for example, in the relative major, and down the minor. Now, because I'm coming out of a minor sounding phrase, I could just continue on here. That may actually sound a bit too like another A phrase, okay? Oh, also it might sound a bit strange jumping straight into the relative major. So I'm not sure which one to start there. I think I'm gonna start with this one as the start of my B phrase. I'm gonna start on Do, and I'm heading to Do as well, so maybe it'll work. Or maybe it's not going to work because it'll feel like I've already modulated by just dumping myself into the relative major. I'm not sure, but look, it's a starting point. I could start it on the minor opening. And again, here's my concern with that. Let me just play the opening material. Now my B phrase. Yeah, it sounds too much like the opening material, so I'm not going to start on La. Okay, I could start on Do or on Mi, which sounds a bit odd. So actually, I'm going to leave where it was on the relative major, and let's work towards that. Okay, so here's my A1 phrase. Okay, and I'm going to head for the relative major at the end of this phrase. Okay. So let's just go from there, and let me just plot that there. So we want to land somewhere strong, and as I said in the intro, you won't need to worry about putting in an artificial leading note because it's already there, okay, in the scale. So let me just work away on this here now. I'm already at 9 minutes, so I gotta get moving. Okay, I like the first two bars, 5 and 6. I'm not sure if the 7 and 8 is a little sudden, but I might just leave it there as a draft, okay? Okay, let's play from the start, and I'm going to roll into my B phrase as well. So here it is. My continuous quavers across bar 6 and 7 is stylistically a little tedious and is not present in the opening material, so I gotta break it down here a little. I might go to La as a crotchet. Yeah, that might work a bit better actually. So let's just try that B phrase, sorry, A1 phrase. My B phrase will write itself. Let's see what we have so far. Change that to a B natural. Okay, let's run from B into C. Sorry, let's run from B into A2. Okay, I'm gonna Okay, here it comes from the start, and I'm going to make a few tiny tweaks and let you go. Yeah, it's not bad, actually. Now the thing with the sequence, go away. The thing with the sequence is that we're kind of expected to develop it a little. I've copied and pasted it there, excuse me, across bars 10 and 11. But the examinations commission sort of expect a little bit of development, a little bit of changing of rhythm and so on. Let me just even break this up, break the monotony. Okay, so watch the little change there, even with that. Yeah, and so I copied and pasted from bar 3, if you remember. No, I've started that on Mi, which is a strong beginning point, and also we've modulated the E flat major already there in bar 8, so bar 9 continuing there down an octave is fine. So bar 10 I varied that sequence a little, and then bar 11 I've kept the sequence intact, but it's obviously up a little bit, and I altered it to bring us back into C minor so that we can begin strongly then on bar 13 for my final phrase, which is a sort of a beginning of the opening material again, A2. Sorry guys, it is Sunday afternoon and just slightly out of it in terms of music and so on, but doing okay I think. Right, so there we go, there's my phrase marks. I just made one tiny change there, one tiny tweak there, and I feel like this should be a dotted note as well. I like the dottedness of this, but I think I just want to keep it closer to the original. One final performance and it is over and out, okay? Good. I made some mistake here. I moved this note down. I need to... What happened? What happened? You don't need to see this. I'm just curious. Yeah. Okay. You've probably tuned out by now. This is a lot of continuous quavers here. I gotta do something here. It just feels too tedious. Yeah. I'm not wild about the modulation there as well. I think I'm gonna just... I think I'm just going to leave it at crotchet there. No, that's not working. Yeah, alright. Last performance and then I'm definitely gone. Happier with it. Still a couple of things I'd like to change, but guys, you'll have time to draft and tweak, but the only way to really fine tune it is to keep singing it, keep going over it. You'll have loads of time, especially this year, 2022. You'll have extra time in your paper, I would say, to craft something life-changing.